Hello, and welcome to Easy Lingo. This is a podcast where you learn languages through simple stories and real conversations. Relax, listen, and improve your English naturally. Let's begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive.
It's great to be here.
So today we are going to explore a topic that, it touches every single one of us. It's this universal struggle of being human.
Right.
Why are relationships so difficult?
Yeah.
And why, in a world where we're constantly connected by our phones, by the internet, do we so often feel just so lonely?
It is the great paradox of our time, isn't it? We have more access to people than ever before. We can text anyone, anywhere. But often we have less true connection. We're digitally close, but emotionally just far apart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to help us figure this out, we're diving into a really deep conversation from the Finian podcast. The guest is an expert on human behavior named Yasser El-Hazimi.
Oh, it's a fantastic discussion.
Yes. And he lays out what I can only describe as a map for human relationships.
It really is a map, a very detailed one at that. He covers everything from how you see yourself to how you handle the pressures of modern life and even how to classify all the different people in your life.
And, before we start walking through this map, I want to mention something special for you, our listener, today. We know you're using this deep dive to help improve your English.
Yeah, that's our goal.
So our mission today is to take these big psychological ideas and just break them down into simple, clear language.
That's right. We'll avoid big, confusing words. And if we do use a complex term, we'll stop and, explain exactly what it means. We want this to be really easy to follow.
Perfect. So let's jump in. Where does Mr. El-Hazimi start on this map of relationships?
He starts at the very bottom, at the foundation. He says you just can't build a strong house without a strong foundation. And for relationships, that foundation isn't other people.
It's you.
The foundation is you.
That's interesting. So before I can fix my relationship with my friend or my partner, I have to fix myself.
Exactly. He mentions there are 4 pillars of relationships, but he says the most important starting point is the relationship with God and the relationship with the self. If your relationship with yourself is broken, everything else will be too.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The relationship with the self. He talks a lot about confidence. And I think we all want to be confident. But he draws a clear line between confidence, ego, and self-contempt. Can we define those simply?
Yeah, it's a very useful distinction. Let's start with confidence. Al-Hazimi defines confidence as reality.
Reality. What do you mean by that?
It just means that your feeling matches the truth. You feel capable of doing something and you actually have the skills to do it.
Okay.
For example, if you say, I can drive a car, and you actually know how to drive safely, that's confidence. It's based on facts.
Got it. So confidence is just telling the truth about your own abilities.
Yes. Now compare that to ego or arrogance. Ego is an illusion. It's a trick. It's when you feel like you're amazing and capable, but you don't actually have the skills.
So using the car example, ego is thinking you're a Formula One driver, but you actually crash the car every time you drive.
Exactly. You're tricking yourself. And then the third one is self-contempt.
What's self-contempt?
Self-contempt is the opposite of ego. It's when you actually have the skills. You're good at something, but you feel like you're not. You feel incapable. You feel small.
Yeah.
That's also a problem because you aren't seeing reality.
So the goal is just to see yourself clearly.
That's it.
He uses a really great analogy here to explain this. The mirror. I loved this one.
Yes, this is powerful. He says that the people around us are like mirrors. Imagine you wake up, you look in a mirror, and you see dirt on your face. What do? Do you get angry and break the mirror?
No, of course not. The mirror didn't put the dirt there, just showed it to me. I'd wash my face.
Exactly. But in relationships, when someone criticizes us or shows us a flaw, we often get angry at them. We want to break the mirror.
Right.
Al-Hazimi says we should use that feedback to clean our own character, to fix the self. We should thank the mirror, not break it.
That's a great way to think about criticism. But there's another trap with the self, right? This idea of needing people to praise you all the time.
This is the balloon concept. He says many people today are just empty on the inside. They're like a deflated balloon. And a balloon can't get big by itself. It needs someone else to blow air into it.
Oh, that's a scary image.
Yeah.
You're just a piece of rubber until someone gives you a compliment.
It's very dangerous. If you rely on other people to blow you up with compliments, likes on social media, praise, then you're not in control because the same person who blows air into the balloon can pop it with a tiny needle.
So if they stop complimenting you, you just deflate. You're empty again.
Precisely. You need to be full from the inside, not the outside. If you're solid internally, criticism can't pop you.
Which brings us to the next big section, the world we live in. We've talked about the self, but what about the pressure from the outside? Al-Hazimi calls this the train of modernity.
Yes. He describes modern life as a very fast train. We're all passengers, and we're moving so quickly, working, producing, buying things that we just don't have time to look out the window.
We don't notice the beauty.
And because we're moving so fast, we start treating people differently.
This leads to a really key definition for this deep dive. He talks about two ways of relating to people: contractual relationships versus compassionate relationships.
Oh, relationships of grace, yeah.
Can we break those down? Because contractual sounds, well, like a business word.
It is a business word. A contractual relationship is based on math. It says, I did this for you, so you must do this for me. It's a trade.
Right.
I paid you $50, so you must do $50 of work.
Which makes sense in a store. If I give the cashier money, I want my groceries.
Right. It's necessary for business. But Al-Azimi's argument is that the modern world is pushing this contract mindset into our homes, into our families.
Like keeping score.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I washed the dishes yesterday, so you have to wash them today. Or I called you twice, but you didn't call me back, so now I won't call you. It's rigid. It's cold.
So what's the alternative?
The alternative is compassionate relationships. This is based on grace. It means you made a mistake, but I forgive you because you're human. It's about giving more than you have to.
It's saying, I'll wash the dishes because I love you, not because it's your turn.
Exactly that. It sounds much warmer. But he says modern life makes this hard. He talks about objectification. Now, that's a big word. What does it mean in simple English?
Objectification simply means treating a person like an object, like a thing.
Treating them like a tool to get what you want.
He used the delivery driver example, didn't he? I think that helps explain it perfectly.
Yes. When the delivery driver brings your food, how do you see him? Do you see a human being with a family, a history, feelings? Or do you just see a hand holding a bag of food?
If I'm honest, a lot of the time I just see the bag of food. I just want my dinner.
That is objectification. If he's late, do you get angry because your machine is broken? Or do you worry that the human might be hurt or stressed? Modern life trains us to see people as numbers, as functions. We want the service. We don't want the connection.
And social media makes this so much worse, doesn't it? He said something interesting. Social media gives us access, but not true connection.
It creates what he calls block culture. I mean, think about how easy it is to remove people online. If someone annoys you on Instagram, what do?
I block them. I click one button and they literally disappear from my life.
Exactly. It's painless. But in real life, in the past, if your neighbor annoyed you, you couldn't just delete him.
Right. You had to see him the next day.
You had to learn to live with him. You had to develop patience.
So social media makes us impatient.
Yes. We lose the social glue that holds communities together. We don't need our neighbors anymore because we have an app for everything. We're independent, but we're lonely.
That is a heavy thought. Independent, but lonely. But, okay, Al-Hazimi doesn't just give us the problems. He gives us a way to diagnose our lives.
Right.
He suggests a practical exercise
Right.
to classify the relationships you have right now.
This is so helpful. He identifies 5 types of relationships. Let's walk through them so you, the listener, can maybe check your own friends against this list.
Okay, type number 1, the alive relationship.
This is the healthy one. It's balanced. Both sides, give and take. You feel happy and safe. It's alive.
And type number 2, the sick relationship.
So this relationship is still alive, meaning you both still care, but it's struggling. Maybe there's a lot of fighting or misunderstanding. It's sick.
But can a sick relationship get better?
Yes. Al-Hazimi says it needs vitamins. It needs things like patience, responsibility, and initiative. If you feed it these vitamins, it can become healthy again.
Okay, type number 3, the nursing relationship. This one sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting. Think of a nurse in a hospital. One person is the patient and the other is the nurse. The nurse does all the work. It's totally one-sided.
You're always giving, helping, fixing.
And the other person is just taking. This drains your energy. You can't stay in a nursing relationship forever.
Okay, type 4, the dead relationship. Use a tree analogy for this.
Yeah, and this is very common. Imagine 2 trees standing next to each other in a garden. They're close, but their roots don't touch, their branches don't touch, they don't affect each other at all.
So they're just near each other.
Yes. This is like a married couple or old friends who have just stopped trying. They don't fight, but they don't love either. They just exist side by side. It's a dead connection.
Wow, it sounds incredibly sad, just existing. And finally, type number 5, the deadly relationship.
These are toxic. They hurt you, they might make you do bad things, or they just ruin your mental health. And Al-Hazimi is very strict about these.
What does he say?
You cannot fix them, you must leave them. They're dangerous.
This brings us to a really crucial part of the discussion, especially with those deadly relationships. The difference between love and attachment.
This is a vital distinction. In English, we often mix these two up. We say, oh, I'm so attached to him, and we think that means I love him.
But he says they're opposites.
Complete opposites.
So let's define them simply. What is love?
Love, or in Arabic, hub, is about giving. You're willing to sacrifice your own comfort to make the other person happy. It's generous. You want them to be free.
And what is attachment?
The attachment taluk is about taking. It's an addiction. You sacrifice, yes, but you sacrifice to make the other person love you. It's driven by fear. Fear they will leave. You want to control them.
So love is, I want you to be happy. And attachment is, I need you to make me feel safe.
Precisely. To explain this sickness of attachment, he uses this very vivid image. He calls it the village of attachment. I think we should walk through the 4 parts of this village. It really paints a picture.
I agree. So if you're unhealthily attached to someone, you build a village for them in your mind. What's the first thing in this village?
First, there's the platform.
The platform. This is where you put them up high, right? Like a statue.
Yes. You idolize them. You treat them like they're perfect, like a celebrity or a god. You make them huge in your mind, and you make yourself small.
Then there's the altar.
The altar is a place of sacrifice. And in an attached relationship, you sacrifice your own values, your time, your dignity, just to please them. You break your own rules for them.
Next up is the hospital.
Because attachment is an illness, you're always in the hospital. You're always complaining. Why didn't he call? Why did she look at me that way? You are constantly in pain.
And finally, the watchtower.
This is the obsession. You're watching them constantly. When are they online? Who are they talking to? Where are they going? It's like you're a guard in a tower just watching their every move. It's surveillance, not trust.
Wow. Platform, altar, hospital, watchtower. If you're living in that village, you're not in love. You are in trouble.
Exactly. And the cure, he suggests, is harsh but necessary. For these deadly relationships or severe attachment, you have to cut the cord.
What does cut the cord mean?
It means you must stop the relationship completely. No, just checking in. No, let's stay friends. You have to remove the reminders, delete the photos, stop the whole cycle. You have to get out of the village.
That is tough advice, but it makes sense if it's an addiction. Now let's pivot to something a bit lighter, but still very practical for our social lives. This idea of social math.
Oh, I love this concept. It helps so much with humility. The idea is that everyone has a social number or a rank, but that number changes depending on which room you're in.
Can you give us an example of this?
Sure. Imagine a man who's the CEO of a big company. At his office, he's number 1. Everyone listens to him. He makes the decisions. He's the boss.
Okay.
But then he goes to visit his parents' house.
Right. At his parents' house, he's not the CEO. He's just their son.
Exactly. He might be number 10 there. He has to go get the groceries or take out the trash or just sit quietly while his father speaks. The problem happens when he tries to be number 1 in a room where he's actually number 10.
So he tries to boss his dad around.
Right, and that causes conflict. Al-Hazimi says happiness comes from just accepting your number in the current situation. Don't try to be the boss at a dinner party where you're just a guest. Be a good guest.
It's about reading the room. He also mentioned a specific number, Dunbar's number. What is that?
This comes from a British scientist, Robin Dunbar. And the theory is that the human brain can only manage about 150 stable relationships.
150. That's it. But I have like 500 friends on Facebook.
Well, those aren't real relationships in this sense. Dunbar means people you actually know, keep up with, and trust. Al-Hazimi's advice here is very freeing.
What's the advice?
He says, don't try to be best friends with everyone. It's impossible.
So it's okay to downgrade a relationship?
Yes, and this is important. You don't have to fight or break up with a friend to downgrade them. You just change their rank in your mind.
How do you do that?
Well, imagine you have a close friend. You expect them to call every day, but they stop calling. Instead of getting angry, you can just silently move them to the acquaintance category in your mind.
So you just stop expecting them to call?
You lower the pressure. You lower the expectation. It's actually a huge relief. It saves you from feeling disappointed all the time.
And it goes back to that contractual idea. If you lower the contract, expect less. You can offer more grace. We have covered so much ground today. We started with the self being a solid person, not a balloon. We talked about the trap of modernity, how we treat people like numbers. We looked at the 5 types of relationships and the danger of attachment.
And we finished with the practical tools of knowing your social number and managing your circle size.
It's a lot to take in. But if you could boil this all down to one final takeaway for our listener, what would it be?
I think there's a beautiful concept Al-Hazimi shares near the end. He says that relationships are essentially a choice of interpretation.
Interpretation. What does that mean in this context?
It means you can't control what people do to you. People will be rude. People will forget to call. You can't control their actions.
But you can control how you understand it.
Yes. You can interpret their action as an insult. They hate me. Or you can interpret it with compassion. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they're sad. The interpretation is the gap between their action and your reaction. That gap. That's where your peace of mind lives.
That is a powerful place to end. The gap between action and reaction.
And I would leave the listener with this one provocative thought to consider today. Look at the closest relationship in your life right now. Is it a relationship of contract, where you're calculating who did what? Or is it a relationship of compassion, where you're forgiving and giving extra? Which one are you building?
Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. And to you, our learner, we hope these simple definitions helped you navigate these complex ideas.
Keep learning, and we'll see you next time.